Welcome back to the Samantha Parker Show. Hey, I'm your host, Samantha. Let's dive on in. Welcome to the show. Today I've got one guest back and a brand new guest. So we've got the returning Beth back on the Samantha Parker Show. And I am so excited because she brought her friend Tammy. Tammy's kind of a baddie too. She's in the baddie club with Beth. A lot of you might remember Beth from one of the past episodes. She had an incredible story. You've got an incredible book.
It's out now. Hallelujah.
Your podcast was extremely popular. I was getting messages like crazy on TikTok. It has high downloads. So Beth, you brought your friend Tammy. Tammy, why don't you introduce yourself, girl?
Beth and I met 14 years ago when I was in my banking role that I'd been in for 38 years and a mom and all of these things and going through a divorce. So we have known each other a really long time. And now here we are in an entirely different phase of our lives together.
I wanted to have you guys on the podcast because one, I love Beth. Beth loves you. You guys are starting a new collab together.
We are. We've both gone through a lot the last few years, and just as friends, you go through so much together. Some of it is really great, some of it is really hard, and you learn a lot from it. We've been talking about this for a while and have decided, actually, this is our soft rollout, to do a podcast. We're calling it What Could Possibly Go Wrong.
I think a lot of things are going to go wrong, but that's the best part about that.
As we were thinking about what does that mean and why did that name resonate with us, we really thought about what could possibly go wrong. Sometimes when things go wrong, it turns out right. Maybe isn't what you expected, but it turns out to be right. There are things that go wrong and it turns into a super funny story that you will tell for decades. We'll share a lot of those stories. Oh, we've got so many. Something didn't go right. In fact, it went wrong, but it turned out to be hysterically funny. Sometimes things go really wrong, but that's when we learn our lessons and gain more wisdom. Seeing that I'm almost completely silver hair, I have a lot of wisdom. At this point in both of our lives, it was the right time. And we want to be able to share what we've done together, some of our separate challenges, but we've done so much together in the last 14 years.
Because we're like soul sisters now. Your husband's very understanding.
He is. And she did crash our very first date. Yeah. But he has rolled with it every step of the way. But she did. It was a Match.com date. Oh. We were going to go out for dinner and to a party after that. So I said, okay, sure, I'll meet you 45 minutes. No problem. She coerces the other friends that we were going to go out for dinner and to a party with to go where I was with this new man.
I had to check him out and make sure he was worthy of her time. Know what I'm saying?
And so I had just told him, we're sitting at the bar, and I just told him, I said, I've got this crazy group of friends. We do everything together. We're inseparable. There's no boundaries, no limits.
And we are funny as hell.
Just ask us. And we're sitting there, and I had just gotten those words out of my mouth. Beth walks in and stands next to us, and she looks at the two of us. She goes, oh, you two are just fine. And then she gave us
2 thumbs.
Then she gave us a Groupon. Our 45-minute date turned into multiple hours. I missed dinner, and now we're married. We did fast track, but the point is Beth was in the middle of us from our first date, and she has not left. There are so many stories about that we will share in our podcast.
Lucky.
I know.
I feel like you're pretty lucky to have Beth.
Yeah.
Over, you can talk to my husband.
I am real lucky, even when she shows up at 2:45 in the morning because I have Rice Krispies in my cupboard.
And I can't sleep.
And makes a bowl of cereal and gives her dog some licorice.
Those are the kind of relationships of best friends that you only read about in books or see in movies.
It's real.
Very
it is
true.
Real.
And I think we've got to back up a little bit.
How long have you been sober?
I've been sober for 16 years now.
I did not know drinking Beth. I've only known sober Beth.
I think that's in all of our best interests, probably.
When I hear these things, and when I read the book the first time, I'm like, this isn't the Beth I know. This is a different person. And I fell in love with this version. Platonic love. It's a real big thing. Almost immediately, we bonded. We've got this group of friends.
And we vacationed together. In fact, we vacationed here in St. George maybe 12 years ago. That's when Tammy first saw St. George and fell in love with St. George. And she got misty-eyed.
I did.
And I'm like, oh, she's going to want to move here too. Because I knew in my head at some point I was moving to St. George. Lo and behold, I live on the St. George Municipal Golf Course, and 500 steps behind me, Tammy and her husband bought a house. We're keeping it close and keeping it real.
It's 0.3 miles if you drive or 500 steps if you walk.
So do you come across the golf course?
All the time.
Yeah.
Usually wearing my robe and the dog.
Notices or anything?
I've gotten a 4. Watch your head.
Okay.
But the dogs know how to go back and forth too, so they just lead the way.
Yeah.
Because I have 2 rescue dogs and Beth has
No, I had to put one down.
Oh, he was in here sitting on the couch not too long.
Yeah, Mendel came last time. Mendel's had his 15
He's
seconds.
a little mad at me because I called him Wendell. Working through it.
I call him Menzies.
I gave him a bagel.
She gave him carbs.
Wow, he likes
Carbs
yeah,
are his
yeah.
thing.
He definitely likes Cindy more, our podcast producer over here.
Do you have licorice? Because that's his favorite.
I'm telling you, he was mad when I called him Wendell.
He actually gave her the dirty side eye.
But he was all about her, and I'm like, hey, I just gave you a bagel.
Come on now. Keeping in how we met, I've got to tell this funny story because it is really funny. And it lends itself also to the book, Stand By in Recovery. Because our mutual friend, Tammy, was going through a divorce. And she had moved in with one of our friends, Kristen. And when I lost everything, back in 2008 and 2009, I started dog walking and picking up neighbors' dog poop.
Hate when she does this, and I'm going to interrupt. She talks about picking up dog poop. No, you had a business that became dog walking, boarding, grooming, dog daycare, and she calls I was picking up dog shit. But she actually had this amazing business. So whenever she minimizes it, I'm like, but you built an amazing business.
I did build it.
I know you sold it.
And I
Yeah.
sold it. I did for 3 years, built it up to 11 employees. We probably had 40 to 60 dogs on any given day. Anyone who has dogs knows 1 or 2 can be a lot to handle. 3 years of handling doggy daycare, boarding, grooming, that many dogs and walking, I was tired and I was worn out physically. And someone came along and offered me a shot to buy my business. And I'm like, I hadn't thought about selling, but now I will. The offer was right. The time was right. Like I'd built this up and I could keep running it, but I'm one of those people who needs a challenge and a project. I made it successful and profitable. So I'm like, okay, I'm done here. Someone else also offered to buy it. So I sold it to one of my employees because she knew all the dogs, she knew the business. And then I'm like, okay, what now? That same day when I was handing over the keys to the new business owner, I got offered a job at KSTP to get back into television news. When I was walking dogs and building up the business, our mutual friend, Kristen, I'd been walking her dog, Cooper, for a little bit. When I came to her house, we increasingly became friends. I would walk her dog for 30 minutes, take care of business and pick up the poop. But then afterwards, I'd hang in her office and talk to her for another 30 minutes or an hour. And we became really good friends. One day she was like, oh, hey, I'm going to have a roommate for a little bit. She's got a dog. Can you walk her dog too? And I'm like, sure, absolutely. And in my head, I'm also like, whoa, $20 more that day. I came the next day. She was like, so my friend Tammy is when you walk into our friend's house, you immediately can go in the living room or go upstairs. Those are your 2 options. And the stairs did not have a wall or anything, so you see what's ever on the stairs going upstairs. Tammy's legs were hanging down the stairs, and she was perched at the top. Tammy's going through a divorce. She might have gone out and stayed out with her coworkers last night. She's not feeling great today. So I'd go grab her dog. I'm like, is she perhaps hungover and sick? And she said, yeah. And I'm like, know all about it. No problem. She'll and I, we'll be good friends. So I started walking her dog, which is how we met each other. We formed this really tight group of friends, and it's taken off since then. So we joked that the first time I ever met Tammy, I saw her girl parts first, and then I saw her face.
I had crawled from the bathroom floor to the top of the stairs in a towel. And when you walk in the house, the first thing is the stairs. So she got a bird's eye view. Yeah.
And I was like, it's love. We're going to be great friends. I've been in that position a lot in my life as an alcoholic. Some of it I remember, some of it I don't.
I'm not much of a drinker. That was one of those times I was in the middle of the divorce. I was going through hell at work. And one of my besties at work were like, it was so stressful. Like, let's go grab a cocktail.
Blow off steam.
I'm not quite sure how many. We got kicked out of a bar, which has never
She
happened to me.
claims she's a rule follower.
And so it's.
Kicked out of a bar. Beth's been kicked out of a bar.
But yeah, so Beth met me hungover and mostly naked.
And it's been love ever since. So when I was still drinking, and this speaks to you about how out of control I get drinking. I was with a friend and we'd gone to this really swanky hotel downtown Minneapolis. We were all dressed up. It was New Year's. I still drank at that time. We had asked some ladies at the bar to scoot over because we wanted to sit next to each other. They didn't like it, or maybe we didn't ask nicely. I don't know. I was drinking, so I remember some of it. But my friend kept staring at the woman. And she reached over, and this is so terrible. She took her finger and she was like, oh, you should shave that. And we had
And
some
she's
drinks
this
in
big
us.
around me. She's this itty bitty, tiny, gorgeous blonde.
And we had some drinks in us. She and the woman who should shave got into a little tete-a-tete. I stepped in and I'm like, don't pick on my friend. I remember the bouncer came and he grabs my friend from the back of her shirt. He grabs me from the back of our shirt. Our little legs are dangling as he's carrying us, walking us out of this hotel. I'm like, oh, this is going to be all over the news tomorrow. It wasn't, thank goodness. He carries two little girls dangling out, drops us on the sidewalk, and he was like, you're banned. You cannot come back here. My friend was dating someone at the time, and he was standing outside on the sidewalk having a cigarette. He turned and looked at us, and he was like, I've never loved you two more. And we're like, we cannot go out again. We're too old for this. And then my drinking problems took off.
And so many things about drinking were fun, honestly, but it's such a fine line. And when you're drinking, you can't control the line and fall over the line.
Interesting. Someone I used to work with asked me one time, Beth, I don't know where your line is. And this is at work.
You can't have a line.
My answer was, I don't either. Over time, it became very evident that I'd crossed the line.
Boundaries, limits.
You don't learn those until you get sober, to be honest. You don't have boundaries when you're drinking because you don't have boundaries for yourself.
Alcohol doesn't negotiate. It's in the period when I wasn't a raging alcoholic that I met Tammy and met some friends. And then when I got the offer to get back into TV 3 years later, when I was sober, I would come by your house. I would be in a live truck or a van or something. Oh, and you also watched me on TV and you're like, who is that? She doesn't talk like that.
Because we have Bethy. Bethy talks like this. She's a tornado. She's a puppy. So I'm watching her on air the first time, and I hear this very serious, this is Beth McDonough. I'm like, who the hell is that? I hadn't met reporter Beth. So then I teased, she's Sybil, right? She's got these different sides to her. She's got her very business personality, and then she's got her lighthearted, sweet, funny, thoughtful, get us in a little bit of trouble, Bethy.
That sounds about right. And so that's how we met. And then as we got to know each other, I was like, I've got a history. They both sat down, and lo and behold, our mutual friend, her father had died of alcoholism. And Tammy experienced losing.
25 years ago this week, actually.
Oh, is it? Okay. And then you've experienced some loss.
Was your husband, correct?
This was our friend Kristen, who I moved in when I left my husband, who was also an alcoholic.
Her father's an
And
alcoholic.
I was very close to him. I loved him because I didn't have much of a father experience. And so I just adored him. I think it was really a lot of years of drinking. He had a lot of other health issues going on, but he passed away 20
and you
years
lost
ago.
an ex-husband.
My first husband, my son's dad, died June 3rd, 2024 from chronic alcoholism.
And he was only in his
late 50s.
That's awful.
Yeah. My ex-husband is also an alcoholic, which was a big part of why I left. Super guy. Awesome guy.
sober.
But the alcohol just drove his life, and it became scary for me because he had some DWIs that he hadn't shared with me that I found by accident. I'm not judging. We all make mistakes and we all have things happen, but he didn't share it with me. I was always afraid every time he'd walk out the door, is he going to get in an accident? Is he going to get hurt? Is he going to hurt somebody else? His son was a little dude then. I'm like, if he's in the car, if I'm in the car, it was just this chronic worry all the time that something was going to happen to him or somebody else, and our entire world would blow up. It sat on my shoulders every single day.
Based on the previous experience that
Yeah.
you've had with other alcoholics.
It's just one of those things. For not having any addiction issues, having so much around me was very strange because it's not like I grew up in that environment. But I have a close enough understanding having been around it so much. We have another real good friend here in town that's really going through it. For
And we're
whatever
trying to help
reason,
him.
I have a lot of it around me.
People have issues, whether it's alcoholism, substance abuse, mental health, eating disorders, sex disorders. Everybody, you just don't get through this life unscathed.
I think it's given me more of an appreciation. Knowing Beth, as many years as I have, she is so solid in her sobriety. Seeing what she lost to what she has now and who she is now, in spite of horrible situations at work. She's extraordinary. And I'm not just saying that because I've seen her go through so many stages, except for the alcoholism.
Yeah, true.
You've reinvented
'Cause
yourself.
I had to.
You've overcome it. It just staggers me what she's been able to do. And that's why whenever she brings up, I picked up dogs for a living, I'm like, you had a successful business.
It started with dog shit.
It did, but it was just such a big thing. Lots of people want to start a business. They fail all the time. She started one from nothing and built this great business and sold it and got back into her previous business and just rocked it. And so I'm really proud of her. One of the things
Thank
that
you.
she and I have talked about, a lot of people write books of what they've gone through, and so many write them really fast. They write them very quickly. So this happened to me today. I'm going to write my book next month. Or the
Which
first
is
year.
dicey at best. None of us do it perfectly that
I mean,
first
it's not
year.
proven. A year is fantastic. It's huge.
Yes.
But lots of people, and you're not going to be one of them, fall off the wagon and stuff happens.
Too soon. You've got to get some more life and grounding and experience. You haven't learned all the lessons yet in recovery.
But after 16 years, this book is so compelling and it blows your mind, the stuff that she's gone through.
Beth wrote a book. It's called Stand By. It's out on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Beth and I are going to be taking her book out. Beth's book is really great. She was a former newscaster. You guys just go back and listen to the past episodes. I mean, grab Beth's book. A ton of people from my sphere of influence have been like, I bought her book.
Oh my gosh, that's great. I'm honored and humbled, and thank you. Thank you.
It's just this amazing story of just heartbreaking fall from grace. And
Yeah, I'm just seeing the finished product.
Yeah.
So when you've seen the
yeah,
She's seen the journey.
health issues with Lyme disease the last 5 years. The
Oof,
days where she
that's-
can't get out of bed. The
that's
days
no
where
joke.
we're walking and she starts to crumble and grabs onto me.
The infection got into my brain. Sometimes I would faint.
This podcast is going to talk about our real lives. Beth has gone through so much. She's gone through alcoholism, losing her entire career. She's gone through cancer twice.
But I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit.
Thank you. And so that's why when we do start our podcast, we have these running jokes in our friendship about what could possibly go wrong. Then we get involved and things go sideways. And they're usually pretty funny. We'll circle back to you, but I want to share one of these funny stories if I can.
Absolutely.
So I have Lyme disease. I've beaten it into remission now, but it's been a brutal process of years, 4.5 years. There are some things that happen along the way, the brain infection, the lung infection, blood clots, heart. Yeah, so I've had heart surgery because the infection got into my heart and I was fainting and hitting my head on the ground.
Concussions.
And that's part of the reason why I moved to St. George to heal, one of the many reasons. So Tammy's here, and one morning I wake up, there was blood protruding from parts of my body. It normally doesn't have blood. And I'm like, you know what? I just don't know. So I call up Tammy and I'm like, hey, I'm bleeding. Can you take me to the ER? And she's, sure. Because we live so close, she was over in nanoseconds. I get in the car and I'm telling her about where I'm bleeding from, which is my backside. And she's okay, and we're being our funny selves. We get to the ER and they're checking us in, and I'm like, these doctors have no idea what's about to happen.
I've seen her go through so much health stuff. I try to advocate big time, but also add some levity.
Yeah.
Because
And you're
otherwise
really
it gets
funny.
really serious. And
Right.
so I try to add a little levity, but also that second set of ears and eyes and ask the questions and do that kind of stuff. In this case, we were walking in and I'm just trying to keep a little bit of levity in it.
The ER doc comes in, and apparently it was teaching night, so he's got a whole entourage of med students and his people. And so he's, what's going on? And I'm like, I blood protruding from the backside. And he's, okay, so we need to give you a rectal. Who would you like to do that?
And I'm like, no, I'm not giving you a rectal.
I'm like, what kind of best friend are you?
Now, I would have if that were really necessary, but there were 2 other options and I could be number 3.
That's amazing. One time I was on a trip and we were on a houseboat, and my friend, she was impacted, and I was like, I could do this for you.
If I have to, I had a doctor and she has fingers of her own. So I knew I could be number 3, but if it was needed, I would.
So when we start laughing,
The students were just like, they didn't know what to do with this.
The doctor's put on his gloves. I've done thousands of these, so I can do it or you can do it. And I'm like, okay, you do it. And he's, okay, turn over. And then Tammy's still sitting there. And I'm like, yeah, if you're not giving me the rectal, you don't get to see it. You got to leave the room with everybody else. And she's like, I'm like, you don't know, and you can't have the glove as a souvenir. But we had him laughing pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
He was, then I'm sure we're the only people laughing in the ER that night. But you have to, because some of these things that we encounter in life, they're so tragic that how do you deal with them? You got to laugh your way through it. She is perfect at that. Yeah. And so that's just, it forms more of our relationship. And she's like the really funny one. She certainly is part of the standby family now. Congratulations and you're welcome.
Honored. I really think the people you hang out with say a lot about who you are. You spend enough time with somebody, maybe it's your spouse or your friends, and you pick up some of them. We've spent so much time together.
Cooter coat. You got to copyright that. Oh, that was the greatest line ever.
We've spent so much time together that we finish each other's sentences. We sigh at the same time. I can just look at her and know exactly where we're at, exactly what's going on, and the same with me. When you get to that place, and our friend Kristen is very much the same way with her. We've got these core friends that
We can read each other.
When you have a problem, I know who I'm calling first. I had to make one of those calls last summer. I don't want to be a buzzkill, but last July 3rd, I lost my only child. He was 33 years old. He was riding his motorcycle, which was his favorite thing to do. He was in an accident. I get a call while I'm here in St. George from the medical examiner, which is never a good call to get.
It broke you.
I picked up the phone, and she was my first call. I'm like, Beth, Tommy's gone. She was over in nanoseconds. And she's on the phone scheduling plane tickets for us to leave first thing in the morning. She's like my triage. When there is an emergency and you need stuff done.
And you need help and resources.
And she's your go-to. And she did.
I'm not long-term care. I'm triage.
My husband's long-term care. She's triage. We fly back to Minnesota the next day. Our friend Kristen comes in from Denver. And the three
surrounded by love and support.
They're all right there with me. And they've been right there with me this whole time. This year has been so much transition for both of us. We've talked about it for a long time, but it was the right time because it really reset a lot of my priorities. I would not be sitting here had that not happened because I would have still been doing what I've been doing for the last 38 years. And
you were in corporate America and
I'm reinventing. I'm trying to figure out who am I now when I don't have the same purpose. I've been on leave of absence most of the last year because I haven't been able to. I've been trying to get my act together.
You're still grieving.
oh yeah,
For sure. And I always will. It's learning how to live with it, learning how to walk with it, learning how to be able to have joy and grief at the same time and not feel bad about it. It's a process every single day. Learning a lot, trying to do all the things I could to try to
and comfort yourself.
Yeah.
I think it's important we point out something, just because whenever you mention motorcycle accidents, people get a little funny. Tommy had been, her son, grew up on motorcycles ever since he's a little boy. And you have pictures of him as a little boy. His entire life, he's ridden motorcycles. So he's very,
He's a good rider.
very experienced. And accidents happen. And that's what happened here. You don't get to take that accident back.
It was just a year on July 3rd. And it's been a hell of a year. When you're really in the midst of it, not everybody can be there for you. Some of my family weren't able to be there as much as I would have expected.
Some people can't handle the loss and the dynamics.
But my two best friends were there with me instantly and never left my side for weeks. They put their jobs on hold. They put their life on hold to be there with me. And that's friendship. That's love. That is commitment. That is through thick and thin. Oftentimes we think of friends and we think we're there when they're down. But I think the awesome thing about this core group of friends is we're also there when they fly.
Yes.
And we cheer for them. And we are excited for them. It's not a competition. It's not a underhanded. It is.
We want everyone to succeed and shine, be happy.
You'd have something great happen at work, and I could call my best friends and say, "Oh my God, I got to tell you what just happened," and they're not going to go, "I can't believe she's doing that." That's not good friends. You want to be able to tell them the great, awesome stuff that you can't maybe tell everybody. Sound braggadocious.
And there's no envy.
Does your TV series come out?
Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
She has been very helpful in pushing me to get standby out for a number of reasons.
That is a go-getter.
Right?
Check out the news. I just made a suggestion. You're already doing a big press tour and have had more PR than I've seen any client come into our sphere with. I suggested maybe you could get St. George News and some local stuff. Next thing you know, she's in the news.
Watch that interview.
That was the second one. A
Oh,
photographer came over yesterday and stayed.
She's burying the lead.
Oh my gosh. He called me while I was putting on makeup and said, hey, I know that we're doing this big profile on you. Do you mind if I come over? I'm like, if you come now, I can squeeze you in. He's sure.
Oh, I need really busy later.
Yeah, but me, I'm
Super busy.
super busy.
Do you know who I am?
And he was like, I don't know how much of it'll be in. He goes, but you just have, and he's in news. And he's, man, you've seen some shit. And I'm like, oh, I've seen shit. And I've been in shit and I've caused some shit.
But watching her in her shit was hard because she's covering George Floyd riots. And my husband and I are sitting on the couch watching her live,
The Twin Cities blew up.
terrified for
Yeah.
her safety. We're just watching her in the throes of this destruction, and she's out there killing it. She's just doing it, and I'm terrified for her safety.
And you didn't even know, like early on, I got shot. I didn't tell anybody other than people at work. I didn't want it to become a thing, and I didn't want it to catch fire with the uprising that was taking place. We kept it quiet for a reason. In July, a couple months later, the gun was pointed at my head while I was covering a demonstration, and someone said, "Your media, you're next."
Demonstration.
After that, and I had a meltdown and went to the hospital the next day. We'd had security at my home too for a week at that point. And I let Tammy know what was going on, and I wasn't going to go back. I had to take another medical leave of absence between the Lyme disease, getting shot, then getting threatened. And then I'm like, you know what? All the signs are pointing to this is not going to end well for me.
Question for both of you, and this is a heavy question, but I think you guys will be okay with it. Did the recent events with Charlie Kirk last week trigger you?
We also have a local friend whose son took his life recently, and my brother, one of his best friends, passed away in this last week. And because my first thought is their wives, their kids, their moms, their friends, that's where I go. And it really does. I mean, you've seen it. And my therapist is, okay, you can be compassionate, you can be empathetic, but you can't own their trauma. You got to deal with your own.
I'm sure you needed a week off.
Yeah, it was. I just think about
Just
who remains.
in the random savagery of it, shooting someone like that in their neck over
Or
a
a-
difference of opinion. And just coming from the seat that I sit in this world of communication and broadcasting, I'm like, so what happened to First Amendment free speech? We all get that. He gets that. Charlie Kirk gets that. I worry about where that's going now because, like him or not, what he did was generate free speech, and let's open it up. Let's have healthy debates. He encouraged and was like, bring on the healthy debates. I just worry about free speech, and now people are going to get, this is the possibility you might get injured over free speech. I lived it, so I know what can happen, and then you feel terrible. Nobody's a winner in this deal. The suspect, his life is done.
His parents.
Charlie Kirk's family,
So hard
his
about this.
parents.
The suspect was picked up here in St. George, Utah.
Yeah.
Where we live. And Monday I'm in this mastermind group, and the lady sitting next to me is telling me how his parents are in her ward in a church on Sunday. They had church security there. They made a statement. They want to come to church. Do not ask them about this. Rippling in our community at a different level than just national news.
Absolutely, because it did happen so close. And then you're like, you just wonder, you ask yourself so many questions. And his parents, I'm sure, did the very best they could, and sometimes all they could, right?
Yeah.
Like any parent. But he's an adult, so he's responsible for his actions. But then his actions destroyed another family and further polarized the country.
Yeah.
And I don't know where the free speech is in all of this.
Thinking of all these people, God's called them to some really big positions. That's how I feel about it. Even if it was bad or good, I'm just like, wow.
That's back to what could possibly go wrong.
Yes.
Sometimes really tragic things happen, and we learn from that. And I hate that somebody doing what he was passionate about, regardless of what you think of his positions on things, he was speaking from his heart. He was speaking openly. He was willing to debate, and he lost his life.
Doing that.
So what's the worst that could happen? He lost his life doing what was meaningful to him, and damn, we better learn something from that. I was thinking about his parents They're local business owners. And Beth and I were chatting about it. You wonder, will people continue to use their family's business? And I said, one thing about in this community,
People will rally for their business.
it's a horrible thing that happened, horrific. But St. George has this massive heart, and they've welcomed us. I've never lived anywhere that has, since losing my son. Yeah, because it's just such a calming, peaceful, loving community.
We're growing fast. We're sitting in this amazing building that was not here last year, but I still feel like we have that hometown heart.
Yes. And what a great phrase. Hometown heart. And you have lived here a long time now.
I've been here for 12 years, so I'm not from St. George. Nobody's, are you from here? They always ask.
How long have you been here? Where'd you move here from?
Because so many people are just coming here, and locals are like, I don't know, get out of our city or whatever, but I mean, job.
We paid the taxes. What did you read online about people who were talking about the shooter's family?
Just the fact that they were good, hardworking people.
The call to support them, right?
Yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of podcasts and stuff lately. I definitely have gone internal, but in the best way. There's a bigger picture here. I've been listening to different people than I normally listen to, and every single person I listen to is we're praying for him and his family. And I'm like, that's
Because his family didn't ask for this either.
They have effectively lost their boy.
And then to have Governor Cox stand up there and say we're pushing for the death penalty. And I'm not saying this isn't about deserve or doesn't deserve. I'm saying if you put yourself in the shoes of that mom, wow.
She's lost her son. As a mom, my heart goes out to her. It's still your baby. You brought that child into the world, and somewhere along the line, something got into him, but it's still her baby. It breaks my heart for everybody involved.
I just don't think you can have a conversation right now and not bring that up.
Yeah.
Those events. It's going to be something huge. I remember September 11th, vividly, 9/11. I mean, this is going to be one that I vividly remember as well.
I agree with you. The photographer from St. George News who came by the house yesterday, it just come from covering a press conference and shooting some video there at the suspect's home. And so he was telling me about that and giving our past histories. Really interesting. I'm glad you brought that up too. It's important, and it's what people are talking about right now.
We have to talk about it. We have to learn the lesson from it.
And I
What could go wrong?
What could
There it is.
What could possibly go
So
wrong?
we better learn something from
What could
this.
possibly go wrong?
Everything.
I have a local client here, Reinvention Injury Law, and they've got a pretty big public presence. They're on the buses and the billboards, and we do their podcasts and stuff. I was texting him the next morning at 6:30 in the morning, and I said, do you just want your typical 9/11 post to go out, or are we going to make a statement? And not every client, that was just one that I was like, he's going to really want to say something. And they did. I was really proud of them. In fact, they came in this morning for their podcast episode because they wanted to talk about it. And I was really proud of them, that they're willing to be like, this happened. We need to talk about it.
That's really good. And what was the takeaway in all of this, especially since they come from the legal world?
Yeah, so they were, of course, because it's a legal podcast, so they were weighing in a little bit about what's happening, what these charges are, but they're just heartbroken like the rest of us.
Yeah. There are no winners in this. Everybody, you just feel for all parties.
Yeah.
One of my sweet young lady that does my hair, Shelby Day, if you're out there, Shelby Day, her husband had some friends or relatives that were up close, and they are traumatized.
That wedding venue here, the lady that owns it just sold it the day before this happened to this younger couple. And it so happened as that younger couple, so she was selling her business to them. And they were on the front row up at UBU, and we're like, can you just keep the business running for a couple weeks? Because they were supposed to take it over.
Yeah.
And they have really not been able to. And she goes, my heart is just broken. So she did all the things, and she's just been keeping it running until they can mentally come in and run the business.
Because there's going to be a lot of people with PTSD from that. That's not something you can unsee.
Thought it was very, and again, I put myself in the position, if I had to see my son's motorcycle accident, seeing the moment he hit that back of that car, that back bumper, and flew off his motorcycle, if I had to see his accident online over and every time I turn on, I know the public is curious, but I think about the people that loved him, those little girls and his wife, his parents and his family and his friends are going to see over and over that horrible moment. And I struggle with having some of those things just be so available.
My daughter, she's 20, but she accidentally saw that girl getting stabbed. And I was like, you saw that? She was upset. It was later at night. She came in her room. She was upset.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of people being like, why is this online? Because you're just scrolling your feed. And at like 4, I know social media can do so much good.
Yes.
Probably you guys are both about
Right.
it.
And what you're spreading.
There's much good in social media, but what the fuck is that?
It's like voyeuristic.
It's re-traumatizing. We all, at a certain point, get immune to that level of violence when it comes at you from every direction. And so it's hard. I think about his little girls and his wife and his loved ones. Like, that image is going to be out there.
And also, their dad didn't just die. He was assassinated. And that's just, how do you even comprehend that?
I can't even drive down the road that my son had his accident. I can't even drive down the road.
Yeah. I've been extremely impressed with his wife, Erica.
Do you know her?
No, I watched Charlie Kirk for a couple of years. I'm really impressed. I'm not going to say all of his ideology is mine. I just loved how he would sit. And honestly, if people would watch the whole videos in context, the amount of kindness that man was showing was wild. It wasn't just like a Christian that was like, you're going to hell. He was just like, oh, here's my opinion. And he's be nice. And he would tell everyone to be nice and kind. So I watched him for a couple of years. I really like what he was doing. My watched him. They thought he was really amazing, the way that he was just communicating. Like an adult wants to have a conversation.
Yes.
It was pretty cool. I've been really impressed watching his wife. I cried watching that video.
Yeah.
I cried when I saw the post that she posted. And it reminds me a lot of Jackie Kennedy.
Yes.
She would change out of the bloody clothes. And she kept, I want them to see what they did to him.
And drive home the point. This is how bad it is. This is what it looks like. It's been a lot lately.
Check in on your local social media manager.
Make sure she's okay. She doesn't forget to post.
I'm scrolling the feed looking for trends and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just can't.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But okay, turning back to you guys and just upbeating here. I don't think life always has to be sunshine and rainbows. That's one thing I've always stood on.
Yes.
Because if you're always striving for that, you're going to be miserable. You're like, why can't I be happy today? It's maybe something really bad just happened to you.
And I think we have both gotten so accustomed to that with each other. We'll have plans to go do something, and Beth is, I feel like hell. I just can't. Okay, we will. Or she'll come over with a bundle of energy because she's just been so excited about the book coming out, and I've just loved watching it.
Because I have my health back.
And she's feeling good, right? And I'm sitting there, I was just sitting in the hammock bawling because I don't know when it's going to hit me either. We both have such a respect for where we're at, and our friends have such a respect for where we're all at. Whatever we are in that moment, we embrace and accept and say, okay, we're changing plans today because
We're just not up to it. The grief, or we're tired, or sick, or everybody else. Some days you're just like, today's not the day.
and you have to be okay with that because it's not a straight path.
Regardless of what your journey is, it's never a straight path.
I think that's why we're both so excited about this. We have had the good, the bad, and the ugly. We've come through it. We're
And then
still
some,
standing.
and that's the
No,
name of the
no,
book. It's interesting. There's a local woman. She's in one of my yoga classes that I've become good friends with, and I've shared some of my life with her. And then when the book came out, she said, I'd love to read the book. And she has substance abuse in her family as well. And I'm like, sure. So I gave her the book. And yesterday she texted me and she was like, boy, you've seen it and you've done it. And when's the second one coming out? Because I end the first Stand By on a cliffhanger. And the second book picks up where Stand By left off, because Stand By is the fall and Still Standing is the hard-fought comeback. I just thought that was so cool. She was like, when is the second one? And I'm like, we'll get to it in 2026. I want to make sure everybody is aware of this to see what happens behind the scenes when people get in trouble. But what does that look like? I take people along. The first chapter is a slap in the face awake. First you're in jail with me and then you're in my life. Good luck with that.
The first time on my podcast, I just had the PDF copy. I had read, remember you sent it
Yeah.
to me? So I read it just the first little bit on my computer. When you came in, I'm like, I've read parts of this. I was drilling you on the book. I was like, in this part, you said this. Remember, I had notes.
Yeah, you did. She had notes. And then she was like, I remember this quote. Difficulty doesn't destroy you. It defines who you are.
The fact that you can go through tough stuff and you're surrounded by people you love and that love you, you get through it. That's how you have to get there.
Absolutely.
And hanging on to the people that you love and love you makes for great stories, which we're going to have a ton of things that are going to make you pee your pants
We've got a
funny.
legal pad here. We started filling out our stories and we're like, we've got a lot of material, but this is going to take some time.
I see you guys doing a stand-up comedy show.
Oh my God.
We could.
Yeah.
Actually, we're going to Minnesota. Now I know Tammy's.
I'm going too.
which is funny. I'm like, what's in Minnesota? I guess I'll find out.
Oh, you will.
We all wonder that before we move there, because normally it's flyover state. But now,
I've been in the airport, but we can take the podcast with us.
that's really.
You can record after you do your interviews and stuff. It's a lot of fun. I like to take my podcast when I go places. And then it's, hey, I just attended, so we'll get you guys to do a podcast on the fly.
Oh, I love it. That would be super fun.
Yeah.
With good impact and takeaway for people too. If you want to know anything, send Sam your questions.
That's Samantha Parker.
Send Sam the questions. Hey, at
Real
thesamanthaparker.com.
quick before we wrap up, I want to give Cindy a shout out. We got this brand new camera set up, and she's over there actually live editing. She's switching camera views, and then you'll see her check the audio. And then if you've noticed, she's also been working behind the scenes with the other camera. And I've been watching her out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, damn, that's a lot of work.
But you must be good at it, and you must enjoy it. You do. You love it.
So I think we're going to need tutorials because we're both trying to get up to speed on using all of these amazing tools.
Podcast setup you're seeing right now, we just got the new camera, so this is your first time.
Yeah.
We can do it on the iPad now, but this has taken me years to figure out the skills and the knowledge to produce something. Even the social media aspect of it, I've been doing this for a decade.
There's so much to absorb. Holy cow, it's overwhelming.
And I tell people, if you need help figuring this out, because I had to figure this out on my own. So like, if you're wondering what we're using, DM me.
I get a lot of feedback on my social media now, and all the feedback is, great, I love the look. Who is she? Where is she? Can I hire her?
Yes.
As long as she doesn't fire me, you can hire her, because I'll keep her.
After you came in and you were saying you had someone do your social media, Cindy and I were like, she's paying someone for this? I was like, you need to fire them, but that wasn't any of my business to say.
Yeah, and I knew at the time, as they started putting things together, I'm like, oh, we're not on the same page. We're not signed a contract. All right, let's make the best of this.
That's also part of what can possibly go wrong. Sometimes we have to do stuff twice. We've done almost everything twice.
You know.
We get canceled along the way.
Oh,
And-
and sometimes one DUI isn't enough. It didn't hurt enough. I got to get a second one. And for the record, the second one hurt enough. Did its job. We just
So-
got to learn the hard way. Some possibly go wrong.
I just really
Plus-
hope the folks that are listening today will tune in to our show because I think it's going to be heartwarming, it's going to be funny, and I think there's going to be a lot of great bits of wisdom that are going to come out. We don't get to be this age without having some scars and some stories, and it's going to be fun. We're going to have some great guests. I really hope your listeners choose to tune in and listen to our show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're shooting to launch the 1st October. That's the next month, right? September, October, yeah. Yeah, so watch for it, you guys.
What could possibly go wrong?
And then you guys can follow Beth online. What's your handle, Beth?
Yes, my handle, my website, and also TikTok, www.bethmcdmedia.com. And I have a Stand store. My book, Stand By, is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, of course, the Stand store, everywhere books are sold. Digital version's coming out in 1 week, so that'll be available for people. The audio is going to be 4 to 5 months. I'm going to do the audio for it, but it takes a long time to record it and then send it to them. They have to tweak it, edit it. The Audibles version will be out within 6 months. It's in progress.
Authors read their books, and I love when they'll be like little side tangents.
Uh-huh.
I love it. It's my favorite thing.
Me too. And just having traveled a lot as a news reporter, we would pop in CDs and that sort of thing to listen when we were on the road quite a bit.
Back in the day.
Back in the
I
day.
used to reserve books on CD at the library. I wouldn't put them online, reserve them for trips and things like that. We'd go down and get them.
I love Audibles. That's the next step. We're getting there. It's just going to take me a little bit because there's about 160 pages that I have to read and not screw up. Then they have to edit me and make it sound better than what I am.
It's
And
a long time. So her mom wrote a book. My friend Terry, she's been on the podcast a few times, did her own Audible too. And it took her a long time. She was recording in the closet, wasn't she?
Oh.
Probably. It's on all the walls.
the closet is the best place because your clothes or whatever's in the closet, all of that absorbs the echo. Sometimes when we're on the road, we would either jump in somebody's closet to voice things or cover up with a coat over my head in the middle of nowhere.
Coming soon.
Yes,
And
coming soon.
You are putting yourself out there on social, and you've been modeling. You have some paid modeling jobs.
Yeah, they are coming. I know it.
I have one tomorrow.
I have it. Yeah.
Please, would you look at this hair? Give us a little flip of your hair. Come on. All the way over. Show them the silver.
I'm going to get it done right after this. So.
With beautiful hair like that, you have to model.
Yeah.
Mature model.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, but it could not be more different than corporate America.
Oh, for sure.
It's like a completely
'Cause you were-
different everything.
It's about your gig tomorrow, because I think it's so fun.
She used to be a number cruncher, people.
Yes.
Sitting at the desk, a desk jockey, number cruncher. So what are you doing tomorrow?
The Navy Brooks Brothers suit with the proper heels and the Toomey briefcase and all of that.
She was a hot banker.
Oh, well.
Especially she has these glasses, she put them on.
My husband likes it when I put on my dirty banker glasses. Y'all have to start somewhere. And so tomorrow, I just got this confirmed a few minutes ago. We're doing a hand sanitizing station at a grocery store. And so we all have to start somewhere.
They're paying you.
They're paying you to go wash your hands. Hallelujah.
Look at this
Right.
man.
Looking back even a year, you'll be like, that was so funny and so awesome. You know, that's what, it's like Beth and her dog shit.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you. I can't wait until the adult diaper companies call her and the
I did-
men's ED
I
and
did apply for a job for
I like how you're looking down.
panties that have absorbency.
granny panties.
I didn't say granny. Let's not disparage. If they want to pay me to wear their, I'm gonna.
Undergarments.
There's
So
actually tons of like underwear that absorbs. People who don't
Yeah.
want to, period, blah. I'm not into that stuff. And like, now I'm not going to bleed in my underwear. But
No.
there's tons of that stuff that works really well for people.
after I did a full day of training a few months ago, I was driving back from Vegas and I called my husband and talked for 2 solid hours. He knows I'm about a 3-minute talker on the phone. I'm just not a big phone talker anymore. And I talked the entire way home and he was like, there's my girl.
Aww.
We're in
Especially
there.
after coming out of the grief.
Yeah,
And,
just to have a.
We're excited. Something
I was
about.
excited and it was fun. The people are great.
and
And
midlife reinvention
Yeah.
caused by serious grief, your son's death, but you're pivoting.
I'm pivoting, I'm reinventing, you still have a long way to go. I'm still a newbie in all of this, but I'm excited about it and it feels good because I lost all my purpose. You lose your purpose. I was a private banker for over 35 years. So now I'm on leave and my whole purpose for that is not there. And I've been a mom. My boy was 33 years old. I've been a mom for 34, counting when I was pregnant with him. And now I don't have anyone to mother. My purpose was gone. I'm like, why bother getting up? I have no purpose. I've had to really work at finding purpose. And my son was really supportive of this because we had talked about it shortly before he passed away. And he goes, Mom, I'm really proud of you. And
And
whenever
he said, go out there and be yourself.
yeah,
That's what he
goes,
said.
I want you to be you. Sometimes kids don't tell you things in the moment. And the fact that he was telling me some of these things as an adult, he goes, Mom, don't you remember when you dropped me off at school? And my friends are like, is that your mom? I'm like, you never told me that. But hearing my grown son tell me that he thought his mom was cute was like, oh, buddy. And that he was excited about this for me. But I wasn't ready to pull the trigger then. It's taken me a while to finally say, okay, now's the time. I'm going to go do it. You turn it on when you need to, and I go home
Put your pajamas on and go to bed.
and sleep for the next 2 days.
Possibly. Come on.
What's your Instagram? We'll make sure you're linked in the show notes.
Tammy.moon.m.
Okay, so you guys can follow them. Watch their
Antics.
We might suck you into some of them too.
Okay, that's fine. But I think you guys also have a lot of wisdom to share.
Yeah, we do. We've got
Hard earned.
You don't
Everyone.
get to this certain age in life without stories and scars. And everybody's got stuff, good, bad, and ugly. So we have all of that to share and stories that we think will make people laugh too. We are really good about you go through stuff and you learn, and there's a takeaway. There's always got to be a takeaway or a life lesson or a let's not do that again. Didn't enjoy paying for it the first time. Let's not screw it up again so we can pay for it twice. We've got a lot of fun wisdom, but practical, and I think it just speaks to where everybody is in this day and age, some things that we can share.
And we're going to have some awesome guests that are going to come in and share their wisdom and their scars and their silver hairs. And it's an exciting adventure. And it's a 180-degree change for me, but this is just right up her alley. She's been in the public eye and she's been speaking to the world for years. I just spent my time talking to my very interesting clients, but it's a different world. It's
You're
fun
a
and
late
creative.
bloomer. Little late bloomer coming into your own.
And it wouldn't have happened, likely. I hate to say this because I would still be doing my job. I'd still be sitting at my desk for 12 hours a day, grinding through it. It was a great career. I've worked with amazing people and I've been super blessed. But I wouldn't be doing this right this second. If I hadn't lost my son, I had to figure out, okay, what's this next phase going to look like? And I think, there's more people.
Stop
Pause.
Hold pause.
All right.
She's got to wrap this up. We could talk forever.
Thank you guys for being on the podcast, and thank you guys for listening to the Samantha Parker Show, and we'll see you in the next episode.